Come on now. Y'all already know what this is. First things first. God did this. Don't get mad with us. I'm your humble host, your man, your myth, your legend, Eric Knight. And we got the one legacy maker himself, Mr. Exclusive. And you already know we got the one man and the only man that can check you in to the Heartbreak Hotel, the
Ah,
Heartbreak Prince
ah,
himself.
ah. Dun-dun-dun. Dun-dun-dun-dun.
Now, see,
Hey,
everybody's here today. It's
yeah.
crazy.
Hey,
It's
seeing
crazy.
Sean last night, hurt my heart, man. Just to look at how old he looked coming out there. I said, oh man, back in my day, I didn't think he would ever get old.
I know, man. Talking about the
That
heartbreak
was a
kid.
heartbreak.
Yeah,
That was a heartbreak.
That was a
Well,
heartbreak.
yeah.
talking about heartbreak, we got to talk about the first night of night one for WrestleMania 41, man. And honestly, wasn't bad. I actually enjoyed it. I don't know how y'all felt, but we had to talk about what the first match was because we kicked it off with yeeting it up with Jey Uso getting the dub over Gunther. Now, honestly, I thought this was a great match. I had no problems with the match. I know some people thought that the finish for Gunther tapping out was a little too quick. In some ways, okay, I can see what people are saying about that. Do I think personally, Gunther maybe could have just passed out on something that, maybe that's something that the Heartbreak Prince talked about with Stone Cold and Bret Hart, with Stone Cold just passing out in his own blood. We could have did something like that. Maybe that would have been a little bit more poetic for the situation. But I still think overall, Jay showed off. Jay did his thing, and Jay got what he deserved, man. And it was good to see it. The crowd loved it. The crowd was feeling it. Got the crowd started and hyped up to start off the show. And honestly, I loved it. But what's y'all's thoughts, man? What did y'all think about it? Because honestly, I really, really enjoyed this match, and I thought it was great.
Ooh, look, there was a couple different elements to this match for me. We saw a very, very like energetic Jey Uso to get this thing started. Nice outfit, got the blue in there with the gold writing. I'm main event. Jey Uso got a little spikes going there, a little glitter. I might have been glitter, at least it looked that way. Fans were definitely into it, of course. He makes his legendary walk to the ring. And the energy was hyping there. Everybody was yeeting. Of course, you can see my man, Pat
Mm-hmm.
McAfee jump up on the table. Michael Cole continuing to struggle, but he's giving it a full
He's
effort. So I'll definitely give him at least that much credit. He's out there giving him the best that he got. And I think the match as a whole was probably it was all right. I think the theme. I think you guys are probably gonna hear from us today. This felt like this could have been a Raw or SmackDown style of match. You're going to hear a lot of that today, so I'm just going to pre-warn you guys now, at least from this guy. I know I'm pretty sure my guys feel the same way, but it was a really solid match. But I think what took away from this match, and I know my guys will agree, is the way it finished. Of course, Jay's going up there. He's doing the frog splashes. I remember we were screaming, "Oh, he's going to do all four corners! What a way to win this thing!" But he doesn't get to the fourth one. And if you watch the camera, like in that sequence, they kind of like shot the camera over to Jay real quick. And Jay kind of, I don't know if he was like looking at the referee or whatever. I don't know if they were doing some type of communication. It's real quick though. And I think that's when I feel like, and then we may hear this later, I think Gunther may have been hurt. And the chokehold may have been the finish. I cannot see Gunther tapping out that fast. That's just something I could not have seen or believe that would have happened that quick. I mean, Gunther just doesn't seem like the guy that's just gonna be like, okay, I'm done that quick, unless he was hurt. So if they decided that was going to be the move and he was going to tap out that fast, I don't know who did that, but that does not make Gunther look good. And I think that's the biggest thing we heard from the internet, from people on the internet, fans, ourselves, the same thing. We're just like, that doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that I took away from the match that I probably didn't like overall. But like I said, if he's hurt, then it makes sense. You got to get out of there. You don't want to damage, Gunther anymore. But overall, I give it I probably give it a B. No, I give it a B. That's mean. No, okay, B minus. I give it a B minus because it was good to see Jay get the title and all the energy that he's brought to the company in the last 6-7 months. Ali at least deserves that.
Yeah, definitely, man. I agree.
Yeah, and I'm in agreement. We were watching the match together last night, so of course, we felt the match itself was B-, C+. And really, I mean, the finish, I think, probably could have made it a strong B match. But the thing with Gunther is I was trying to figure out at what point in there did he suffer his injury, and I couldn't tell if it was after the first or second frog splash, because something was weird about the fact that he laid on his stomach and chest area. Take one of those frog splashes. So it was almost like maybe he broke a rib. I mean, it's speculation, I know, but it just seemed odd that he did that, and he took the frog splash there, and then all of a sudden it was like the chokehold tap out, and the tap was so quick. It was more so like, hey, I need to get out of the ring. Something is not right. And so it kind of just made the finish seem a little weird, and I think that kind of took away from it a little bit. But overall, I thought they gave a decent match to kick off the night of Raw, because kick off the night of Wrestling.
Felt that way, didn't it? I understand.
On night one, weren't the strongest. So, but overall, it was good for the crowd to see Jay get his title reign. Get to celebrate that in front of the fans. The crowd, enjoyed it and all that kind of stuff. So, I get that match probably a C+.
Yeah, man. I mean, honestly, that's what I'm saying, man. I mean, I think as a whole, I think the energy was there for Jey Uso. I just think that finish is really what kind of messed it up a little bit. But again, if Gunther did get injured, then that, plays a big part, a big factor, that whole situation as to why the finish came up to be that way. So
yeah,
we'll see. But then we had, the next match, which we definitely could have had on Raw instead of, a TLC match that could have been on WrestleMania. But hey, it was a good day for the New Day, and also a good day for me because the Knicks actually won the first game of the series playoff. So that was my good thing that I found that it happened at the same time of this match around the time. But, we talked about this. I mean, honestly, the New Day getting the dub, getting the titles wasn't a shock. We said this is something that they needed in order to fulfill their heel prophecy. So this is something that looks good for them. I mean, of course, the crowd booed, they did whatever. I mean, I'm not going to lie. The match was subpar. Were there times when I actually walked away from the couch? Yeah, I did. And not to say no disrespect to the New Day or the War Raiders, but honestly, this was just one where I was like, all right, you know what? Y'all didn't have me too sold. But what I love the most, what I love to see is when the New Day does come out and honestly how they treat the fans, because thank God the New Day has actually won. So, actually, in second thought, I'm glad they won it in overall. So, I'm glad to see it.
And that's GWD God.
God. Honestly, I love that. I think that is probably like my most favorite thing that they do, because I think it's just Xavier was the emphasis on when he does it, and like how he does it. So good. But what are your thoughts, guys, or how do you guys think this match was? What'd you think? Subpar, mid, could have kept it for Raw. I'm thinking mainly could have kept it for Raw. But what are your thoughts, guys? What y'all think?
I'll take this one real quick because I want to say something. Stephen Logan popped in and just said, he was surprised that Gunther tapped in that match, and it was only 15. And it was a different. Like, I probably would have preferred the 1-2-3 pin versus the tap. Because we talk about the ring general, that's what we build them up to be or whatever. I just, I don't really see Gunther being in that position where he would tap, but that's just the finish that they chose and went with. But it is what it is. But when it comes to Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods and this new Day, I as much as I like the work of Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods, I have to say it. I'm just being honest. I would have rather have seen Montez Ford and the Profits. I mean, Profits are up. I felt like they had more storyline going with Profits, especially with DIY, Pretty Deadly. I'm missing a tag team that's involved.
Motor City Machine Guns.
Motor City Machine Guns. Thank you. Was I couldn't and Motor City Machine Guns.
Like, just popped up too.
Mellow Don't Miss. Yeah, like all him. They could have had them in there. I mean, and I felt like that would have been a better tag match and story, because at the end of the day, this definitely felt like a Raw type of match, and this could have been settled on Raw. The story wasn't there, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, tomorrow night.
It's a tomorrow night matchup.
And it is what it is.
Because that's a Raw after Mania. Why not?
But I think the only element in here that was more business related was the fact that they probably wanted this match on Mania because New Day had never won on Mania. They were 0-4, I believe, for their career on Mania. So
Really?
this allowed them to, this allowed them to get their first victory at a WrestleMania and also become, I think, the greatest tag team of all time as far as title reigns. I think this is their 12th title reign. And so I think that's why they gave them that push. And to be honest with you, Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods and them deserved it. I just think that if they were going to go this route, they probably should have done a better job developing a story and getting us more invested in that type of match.
Storylines. That has been the theme of what we've been kind of going through here in this last month. It's just a terrible job of building storylines, and that's the problem. Like this match, probably if this was a couple of months in and they've been beefing with each other and they done attack Ivar and they done kick Kofi in the neck or something like that, like all of that stuff, like if they would have built that type of hatred for each other going into this match, I'm like, all right, we in there. But this is like what, a week or so old, and this, like you said, definitely could have, this is the match that should have been on the Raw afterwards. And we get, I think the fans get gypped out of could be an amazing TLC match at Mania, a show stealer, which maybe that's what they don't want. Maybe they don't want it because maybe they know that the rest of the card is not what where it's up to. They're like, we don't want this. Let's just wait to SmackDown to deliver all this greatness. But it's sad because I said it a couple of weeks ago. I'll say it now. I think the main reason why they gave the Profits the title across seas, with that big crowd, is because they want them to get as close to a WrestleMania feel when they won it, because they already knew they weren't going to put them in Mania. And I hate that for them. I'm glad they're champions again, and it was way too long for them to be champions again. But that's where it felt like, at least the strategy they had going on. To real quick, what Stephen Logan was saying about Jey Uso and Gunther, that just, it felt wrong. 15 minutes too quick of a match. But I'll be honest with you, I don't think Jey has been in a long match. Maybe matches longer than that, unless they were in a tag team, and tag team
with
you
the
flip
New
back
Day.
and forth. Right. So you're flipping back and forth. So but we'll see. I mean, I'm happy for Jey, and we'll see how the title reign goes. As for this match as a whole, I will give it if you watch it, it wasn't bad. The crowd wasn't in it. That's another thing that people have to understand. Mania matches could be great. They can look great. But if that crowd is not in it, it takes away everything. If that crowd was rocking and rolling with this match, we'd be talking a whole different tune today. We'd be like, oh man, who would have thought New Day and the Viking Raiders, they brought the house down. That's the element of wrestling that we need, especially in Mania. You need the crowds got to be sucked in. Guys have got to be clean in the ring. Entrances have got to be sweet. All of that stuff has to kind of come together to make
the music got to be fire.
Everything's got to be fire. It's got to be fire. Everything's just got to work. And that's why a lot of these matches felt like Raw or SmackDown matches. Happy for the New Day. Had no clue that this is the first time winning them. I just felt like they've won at Mania at least once, but it's a very interesting. Kofi did. Kofi did. So that part of it is very interesting that the New Day has never won there, but. Shout out to them. I'm happy for them that they are the tag team champions. Maybe they can help take the Raw tag team division where it needs to be from this point on. But hey, I will get this match, because I forgot to do that. I get this match another C+. Right there with you, brother. Right there with you.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely one of those things you could have did Raw after Mania. I think, especially again, like I said, if you really wanted to kick off the show right, you could have started it off with this. You could have had the TLC match. You could have had the Profits. You could have had DIY. You could have had Motor City Machine Gun. You could have had Mellow Dome Miz. You could have had Pretty Deadly. And you know who else you could have had? You could have even had Umberto and Angel Garza.
Throw them in there.
Yep.
Throw them in there.
Man, TLC.
Hey, yep.
You could have had an ultimate banger. And you know what else? People would have said, damn, I think that was better than Jeff with the Hardys, the Dudleys, and Edge and Christian. You could have had an instant classic, but nah, we gonna squander that. Let that go for Smack. It's fine. You know what? Triple H said what he said. He said we be whining, right? I'm whining. I'm complaining. It's sad when I see a man go crazy in his prime time when we talk about NXT. in the prime years of the takeovers. Okay, they don't
Yeah.
even do takeovers no more. That's not even
Yeah.
a thing. When they used to be a takeover, man, what? It was
Yeah.
delivery. It was
Yeah.
everything as a package. And you know what else? The storyline. It matched up every week in an hour. There was so much we were getting in an hour before they made it 2 hours and put it on a network. When it was just on WWE Network and it was just doing all as much as they can fit in 60 minutes.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
You're killing me, Trip.
And
You're
that's
killing me.
and that's the frustrating part about it is, you know, you have these expectations because Triple H is in charge of the product and you know that he's able to deliver because you've seen what he was able to do. But like he said, when NXT was this big, you know, and to what it is now. And then when you have a WrestleMania card that is like this, it's kind of disappointing because you're like, Triple H, we know you know better. But then to chastise us as viewers and us as people that pay for the product and watch the product, you know, and say like, just be a fan and enjoy. I'm going to tell you what you can enjoy, and I'm going to tell you
that's some very
storylines like, and
that's
very
Vince. That's very Vince.
Which in ways I thought to myself, I said, okay, this is either going one or two ways in my head. I said, either he's trying to make a character change in himself, and maybe we're seeing the Authority maybe come back. Now, I would be opposed to that. Now, if that's what you're going to do, Triple H, do it. Be that authority figure.
Yeah.
But that does not mean you trust the card. Now, if you want to do this, you know, this year, okay. Don't keep playing with me. Look, don't play with me when it comes to WrestleMania 42.
Yeah.
Don't play with me when it's in New Orleans because I'm thinking about going.
Yeah.
Do I want to pay that amount of money? Hell no, I don't.
No, I don't. Not at all.
Maybe.
But E, to jump in there real quick, because that's a good point. That's what I was getting ready to make. When you're charging the type of money you're charging currently for WrestleMania,
it better be greatness.
It better be greatness. Then you have to have a product that's beyond repute. And so like the fact that he is trying to fuss at us, and it's like when you go ahead and buy a WrestleMania ticket, you're looking at $10,000, $15,000, and $20,000 seats, and some above that,
big money,
just to get it. And if you get into the nosebleeds, you still well within the thousands of dollars to get a seat at WrestleMania. And then you deliver me C+ match after C+ match after C- match after I'm going to complain about it because you're charging top dollar for a product that's not delivering top dollar matches.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the problem with all of this, Triple H, you said it best. Triple H knows what the fans want.
Yeah.
We've seen it all the years that he built greatness in NXT.
Yeah.
Hell, we saw it at Stand and Deliver.
And that's my point.
And I said it to you guys yesterday when I did a quick little appearance on the show yesterday, which y'all guys killed, by the way. If you get a chance, go back and watch Stand and Deliver.
Hey, appreciate
Rewind. Make sure you go check out my guys because they killed it. But
thank you.
But the biggest thing I said in that little segment, a little moment, was they had to come to play last night because Stand and Deliver has already set the standard of what the rest of this weekend needs to be like. Yeah. That crowd absolutely sold every single match. Now, every single match was great, but like I said, it's a combination package.
And it got better every match.
Every single match.
They delivered. They did what the PLE name is. Y'all go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. No, you're good. You're
good.
Let them know. And that's the part of it. They don't have, like, I knew it. Once we watched it, and I wasn't even fully blown watching it because I was at my daughter's track meet. So I'm peeking and looking. I'm like, oh, this is already great. I can tell just off of what I was staring at and looking at for a while.
Yeah.
I said, this is greatness right here. What Javon Evans and the crew and them did yesterday, magic. Absolute magic. Yeah. So I already knew. I said, going into last night, they had to come to play. Yeah. And they didn't. And it was underwhelming. And it's a problem when it's a problem when you don't set up the storylines. And I hope that he takes this year as a life lesson on how to build storylines going forward. Yeah. There's no reason. I could probably count on here, looking at the matches that we have that had legit storylines. I'll just go through real quick before we move on. I know we got to move on. So you had Naomi and Jade, legit storyline. Yeah. I would even say Jacob and LA Knight had a semi-solid storyline because that's been going on.
They've had interactions multiple times for months.
That's been going on. You look at Chad. Well,
El Grande Americano.
There you go. Grande Americano, and I guess Ray Phoenix. or any luchador, I guess you can say, semi storyline, not a good one, not enough hatred, not enough whatever going on to it to make it a great storyline.
Right.
Even Tiffy and Charlotte, the only reason why that storyline got relevant is because they kind of talked a little bit of bad about each other in that one promo, and I talked bad about your marriage and stuff. Yeah. And even then, it still felt like it felt forced. Yeah. You know, and then the one that obviously last night's banger, that match had storyline written all that had
for days,
long-term storytelling. That Jake was perfect.
Short-term storytelling,
everything. That's what you need. And I know every single match can't have that, but it has to be close to that. AJ and Logan Paul, no real storyline.
No.
Drew and Priest, semi storyline.
They got something. That's a semi one, but that could have been for Raw.
But it's enough.
That could have been for Raw.
Women's tag team match, nothing. You know, depending on who Randy faces. Come
on, Nick Aldis. Come on, Nick Aldis.
If it's Nick Aldis, that's gonna work. Why? Because he find that man almost a year and a half ago and say, "Hey, here's his check. And this is for the next time."
Yeah,
and then he dropped him the next time. Then he had the nerve to say something about Mickey James. Okay, those are fighting words. You done talked about my wife. You done find me and told me I'm going to hit you again. That to me, I'm like, I'm intrigued. That's a good storyline. Even if and that was subtle. There wasn't even a ton of build up to that.
And Nick told him to do that when it happened. I think I've told that before. When he was on Chris Van Vliet, he told her. He said, "No, he said, RKO me." Like he told him to do it.
Yeah.
So even that little nugget, throw it in.
It's beautifully done, man. It's beautifully done. Then the Intercontinental match, solid, decent, okay storyline. Okay. Yeah. Then we got the Women's Championship match. All they did was egg Io in the face the last couple of weeks, and then you got Cena and Rhodes, which should be a better storyline than what it is, but it feels like they didn't develop it right. That's the problem. So what is this? What 3 out of 12 matches that you have really good storylines, and the rest are or just like.
And you could have had at least 4 if you did the tag team TLC.
And that one would have been a perfect one.
Yeah.
What's up, Big Law? Good to see you, brother.
Again, because like we've been saying since we first started this podcast, they had started building that story since July going up into August.
Mm-hmm.
And again, that storyline they involved every single tag team, almost at least 3 out of 5 people. I done dropped one of my headphones. 3 out of the 5 people, out of the 3 out of the 5 tag teams, you had already gave a tag team title reign to.
Yep.
What are we doing?
Yeah. That's the part. That's the part that bothers
me off so much.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. I mean, and I know y'all are saying y'all are complaining. Look, we're wrestling fans.
Yeah.
Okay. We just come off an era where we complain a ton.
Yeah.
Believe me, the complaining here is not the same complaining that we had then.
Yeah.
The product was not good. The product just wasn't good then.
Good.
The product is good.
If we'd have had this going since 2018, it'd have been a whole different podcast.
Yeah. The product is good now. The product is good now.
Yeah.
And it's just that we know it can be better. That's the problem. Like you done teased us too much in the last couple of years since you taking over H for it to look like this.
Yeah. And then it's like, and that's what I'm saying. Like when you look at like NXT and you look at the people that he built, the stars that he built. Of course, we knew a lot of those people didn't even want to leave and go to the main roster. And they wanted to stay at NXT because of Triple H.
Mm-hmm.
When you got people like Adam Cole, Bobby Fish, Kyle O'Reilly,
Undisputed
Roger
Era,
Strong,
guys.
The Undisputed Era.
He's listing them all.
That's greatness. When you got 4 men like that going crazy in a group, and every single person has gold. Come on. When you got somebody like Keith Lee.
Yeah.
Come on. Moon. Shayna Baszler, they used to go crazy.
Shayna Baszler
when she had her
crazy.
time.
Yep.
Come on.
Yep. Finn Balor. Yep.
Tommaso Ciampa when he was
Joe,
the Black
Tommaso Ciampa. Yep. Johnny Gargano. Like they all were.
I remember when they used to boo Tommaso Ciampa. This man had no music at all.
Hey, yo, I ain't gonna lie to you. That era, the Black Heart era right there was big time.
Crazy. That was a
came out there with the belt, touching the belt. That's all he did.
That's it. But I mean, come on, Aleister Black, Velveteen Dream. I don't know how many times I gotta mention this man, but Velveteen Dream.
Yeah,
these people, you had stars.
Yeah, they did. Velveteen Dream was a star. You know, and I hope
Ricochet, even the way he had booked Ricochet, he won. What the hell?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it. I hope they bring Velveteen Dream back at some point and give him another opportunity.
I do too. And if that's, I know that's not going to be the opponent, but if it was, it would be great.
Yeah.
I know we got to move to the next one, but Shane Gill says also the super rich are killing the crowds. Cloud chasing doesn't add energy. Every rich removes a 10-year fan and removes the kids. Kids have the most energy, and feed off was given the energy the most. I actually agree with that.
You know what? Shit. That insight there, hey, that's A1 because you know I didn't think about that too. When you think about it, because they are showing a lot of people that with money that is out here now buying tickets and just sitting in the crowd.
YouTubers,
and when we talk about how the crowd is not what it used to be at a WrestleMania, that was A1 insight there, Shane. I appreciate that.
Yeah, most definitely.
You think about it through that lens, you know, and I hate to like it to football, but I think about like how we talk about the Dallas Cowboys. Yeah, I'm a Cowboys fan. You can tell by the room, silver, blue, and white. That you know, when they built the stadium, how like the crowd is more of like a wine crowd, like, you know, everybody with money. You know, you always so the crowd is like they're not there necessarily for the football; they're there for the clout of it all. And the same thing with you talk about WrestleMania, because like I said, you look at these seats. Y'all tell the story all the time about going to WrestleMania in New Orleans, and y'all paid $1,500 and had a phenomenal, trip as far as being able to go to multiple shows. I think y'all named like 5 different shows y'all got to appear in. Let's go to WrestleMania, and it was like $1,500. You get on there and try to buy a WrestleMania ticket now, you're looking at $10,000 to $15,000, and that is just to get in the mid seats. You want to get up there and you want to get a seat that has a WrestleMania logo on it. Good night.
Yeah, I know.
Straight up.
Like I said, I'm blessed that I got the chance to go twice, and as much as I would love to go again,
I'll never make it.
I don't think it unless it's a media thing.
Yeah, that's all we go.
I think I'll be honest with you.
We go
unless it's a media thing, which hopefully, who knows, next year in New Orleans we in there media wise.
Yeah,
and
we're gonna y'all better, because I'm gonna tell you right now that the stock goes up if the Knights is there. I'm gonna tell you right now.
That's right. That's right.
Profits go up,
and the nights will never be the same. I'm gonna tell you right, night 1 or night 2. I'm just throwing it in there.
Yeah,
I'm just throwing it in there.
All right, let's get into it. I'm sorry, let's get back in.
I know we had a moment, y'all.
We did. I'm sorry. No, I know I was going off because you know.
But I just hope I hope that it shows the people that are listening that the passion that we have for the
for the product,
the business, the product,
for the company. I couldn't even talk.
For the product. That's the passion we have for it. We want to see it deliver, and not what we got last night, which was a hyped up Raw.
Yep. And the last match helped it become a C+ last night.
That helped it big time.
That's
let's get into it. I'm sorry.
Let's get into the next match, because we were talking about something that actually had a solid storyline with Naomi and Jade. Now, honestly, I thought this was a really good and solid match. I love Naomi's new entrance. Made sense. Proceed with caution. Went crazy. Jade looked great. Looked strong out there. Honestly, though, what shocked me, don't know why Jade won this one. And honestly, again, I think Jade looked great. But if we done did all of this for Naomi, we done turned her heel, we done found out it was her that attacked Jade, all this, that, and the third.
We have to proceed with caution.
Yeah, come on now. Why are we going to have Jade win this? I mean, again, I don't think Jade needed this, but if anybody needed it, I felt like it was Naomi for this. I felt like this was something that would have propelled her heel turn to another level. I feel like getting that dub. I mean, because again, her going crazy so much. This is my mania. I loved it. I was like, oh, this is good. So again, I thought this would have been hers to win. It wasn't, but it's okay. What are your thoughts, y'all? What do y'all think? I'm gonna give it a B. I'm gonna give it a B. I think in terms of everything, spots was great.
Yeah.
Naomi looked good. She made Jade look good. Jade, I think they both complimented each other very well. What y'all think, man?
B
minus.
B minus.
Saying it the same. I'm thinking the same thing.
B minus. And I ain't gonna lie. There's a big part of me that wants to give it a C+, but I'm gonna tell you why. I thought that Jade does look better, but I still don't think it's there yet, which is probably a problem. You paid Jade to come in because of the popularity. She's got the look, man. We're not going to sit here and act like Jade Cargill doesn't have the look. She has men drooling over her tremendously. She has women drooling over her tremendously, begging to have that body. Men begging to have that body for other reasons. Women probably same dream. Doesn't make a difference. Here's the deal. There's parts of this match last night that made me think that she still needs seasoning in the ring. So me and Elwood, we talked about this last week. Oh, excuse me, the Prince. But you know, that's the government name, y'all. That's the government name, y'all. But last night we talked about this. There was a part where Naomi got on the ropes, and I think that if Jade should have sold the getting up, being a little bit more injured, or being a little bit more beat up, just a little bit more. Because what happened was she stood up too fast, and then the camera angle keeps showing her looking up, waiting for Naomi to get set. Naomi looked like she was struggling to get to the second rope the way she wanted to, and then she just sat there. She was just kind of hanging like this until Naomi was able to do the move. And I'm just like, it was moments like that. Jade still has to work on her transitioning.
Yes,
and like it's. Like you can see that it's there, but it's not quick enough.
Yeah.
It's just like 2 or 3 seconds behind. It's almost like a delay. So it's like when it's time for her to make the moves that she needs, it's like a couple of second delay. And to me, it's noticeable, but it's a lot better than what it was a year ago. So I don't know how much longer they're gonna feel like they can wait for her to continue to develop like that. Because I think at some point you got to say, okay, is she worth the because she's just that beautiful, or is she worth that because she looks the way she looks, the body build, the attraction that she brings in from friends on different levels? Is that what, are they going to be able to keep holding on to that? That's the one thing that I'm concerned with her, but she did look a lot better last night. I don't want to take that away from her completely. Like this is just my opinion on this, y'all. I feel like if she can quicken up on just a few transition moves there, getting set up for whatever the next move is from her opponent, making it look a little cleaner. That's all she has to work on. And that sounds, some people say, well, that's a lot. It is a lot. If you're not a really good wrestling fan, you can blow past that, and you're not, or you're not deep into the, watching it. You can look past it and be like, okay, but you don't want it to look janky. You don't want it to look kind of stagnant, But when she did capitalize on her moves last night, she looked great while doing it. That one when she caught Naomi and then dropped her into
that was what I was thinking about.
That
really
was nice.
Good. Really good.
That was nice, and that's what you want to see from her. And I think Naomi did a good job of helping her in the ring. That's also a really, really important thing that she needs to continue to do. And then before I go to the Prince, I'll just say the only thing, Eric, I understand why you said Naomi should have won that match last night with the heel turn, or since she became heel. I still think Jade semi needed it more, because if she had beat Liv a couple weeks ago, I probably would have been okay with her losing to Naomi. But I don't think her losing to Liv, then losing this one, would look good for her, because they want her to be a powerhouse, right? You can lose to Liv. Liv's a world champion. Liv's a multi-time world champion. You lose to Liv, okay, you lost to Liv. Now Naomi is a champion in her own right too, but to lose both of those back to back, they still want her to look strong. That was the only thing. If she had won against Liv, I'm like, okay, if she loses Naomi, I can deal with it depending on how she lost. If Naomi cheated to win, which I would have been definitely fine with, even if, she took a razor blade, which you've been hyping razor blades for weeks.
Razor blades
up. She'd have took the razor blade and just like, across her forehead, like, oh my God, why did she do this? And then did something like that. I'm like, all right, cool. Dang, she went and tried to kill my girl with the razor blade. But make it worth it when you decide to do that. But I'm proud of her. She's working on it. I'll give it a B- because I can definitely see the progress.
Yeah, and I'm in the same agreement, so I won't beat this dead horse. I'm in a B-. I think what saved that, or at least got it to the B- was there were a few spots that Jade and Naomi really delivered on, and particularly that one where she caught her mid-air and lifted her into a suplex. Yeah. I thought that was phenomenal strength that was portrayed there, and the way they put that spot together, was phenomenal. But again, you can see Jade has gotten much better in the ring. She still just needs to work on her transitions between moves a little bit, and the timing of it. And she's there, man. So it was a good up and out of the matches that had taken place. So that so far, and Mania Night 1, that was better than the previous two to me. And so, I give it a B-.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel that, man. I feel that. I think that was good. I think that was good insight. But yeah, man, I do feel that. I think maybe Naomi do need to do some of those raises. I forgot about that.
Stop cutting folks, man. I mean, it's all
Yeah.
good. What's up,
Make
Corey?
a little,
What up, Corey? How you doing?
Hey,
Thanks for joining us, man. I appreciate it.
Appreciate you joining us, man.
Hey,
Yeah.
make sure y'all get a chance to go check out Corey. Had a great show yesterday too, man. He did his preview yesterday, so y'all make sure y'all go check out my man on the grind. My man Corey, man. My man.
On the grind. Well, since we're gonna talk about something that kind of sped up a little bit, and honestly, hold on, before I even say anything about this match, because one thing I almost wanted to say about some of the stuff that the matches that we had, I think, I would ask who's doing this. It seems like it's a couple of dummies. Yeah, dummies. Yeah, dummies. Yeah. Look, see, I'm gonna tell you. See, this is how you know I know what I'm talking. Look, let me tell you something. LA Knight. Okay, my man, LA Knight came out with the Maserati. Okay, that looked nice, by the way. But what I honestly wanted to see, because I'm thinking to myself, look, it's WrestleMania. It's WrestleMania, and I ain't gonna lie, how many times we done gave the man with the magic boot a time and some time backstage to say and talk just a little bit. You don't think I wanted to hear that for Mania? I wanted to hear the man with the magic boot, the big blood, hell, the small werewolf, hell. And you know what it was, because you know what he did. My man, Jacob Fatu, got that dub and is now United States champion. Honestly, this match was a banger. Now, honestly, when we look at this card, I remember I was on a TikTok live earlier today, and they was like, you got to think about it. Night one, this was the night for the family tonight. The family got the dub tonight. I mean, we got Jay winning, beating Gunther, World Heavyweight Champion. Jacob Fatu, the man with the magic boot, winning and becoming the new United States champion. Of course, I mean, we couldn't see much with the OTC, but
yeah,
my man still thrived in his storyline. But honestly, this to me, this is the only thing I really wanted. The only thing I wanted before the match started, again, was just to see the man with the magic boot come out and just give us a nice, great promo right before he comes out. I think to me that would have just solidified it, and it probably would have brought a tear to come right down my eye, because I would have loved to see that come from my man with the magic boot. I'm giving this was an A+. I thought everybody had great spots. I loved how LA Knight looked. He looked great, honestly, and I'm thinking LA Knight's probably going to be going to that main title picture. I think it's time.
Yeah.
I think it's definitely time for him. But this is giving an A+++++, because it's a hell of a match. What are your thoughts, y'all? What y'all think?
You taking this first, D-Lo, or you want me to go?
You go first. I went first last time. It's you, brother.
Okay. All right. Well, I give this match here a B+. Because I did like the way that it ended. They had they had a really good, strong, solid match. The ending, I think, is what was kind of put it over for me, because I loved your boy, the Samoan Werewolf, delivering those rope jumps into the backflip. I mean, it's very athletic, and seeing somebody that size be so nimble and be able to do that, and LA Knight took him in and he sold him, and that was definitely a good match for the U.S. Championship. And it was also great to see, what's my boy, Jacob Fatu, kind of ascend, get this U.S. title, because they were just talking about it like a year. He's only been with WWE for a year, and in that time frame, they were trying to build up Solo, but it was undeniable what Jacob Fatu was doing, and now they kind of rewarded him, and I think it's going to be very interesting to see how he performs going forward as the United States champion, because of the energy he brings, man. It's so raw, it's so ill. I appreciate Jacob Fatu. I may not be as big of a fan as you are, E, because that's been your boy from day one, ish. But Jacob Fatu, man, in the ring, that man delivers, and that was definitely a good match.
Yeah, definitely a great match. The the move where LA Knight reversed the backflip into the
to the beat.
the
Oh
moves
yeah, the BFT. Oh my
that was
God.
nice.
BSG, yeah.
I give it I'm gonna actually agree with Elwood. Y'all agree with everything, but I think we got we got a kind of a same mindset here on this podcast. So I'm gonna say it was a B plus. There were probably some, if it lasted a little bit longer, it probably would have been an A minus.
Yeah.
They kept the ship kind of tight on this one. And I think for me, I like the fact that he won. I'm happy that he won. Now, for weeks, I thought that this is going to be the time Solo comes out here and ruins it. As soon as I saw Solo walk into the entrance, I'm like, here it comes. I knew it. And then
same thing.
And I remember I looked at HP Prince. I said, hey, Prince, like, wait a minute. Where's Solo at? I said, oh, Solo went back to the back. Did he? I didn't even see him go back there. So I thought for sure Solo was going to come out there at some point and ruin it. And it's still, I think that matchup is coming at some point. But to me, it was just very interesting that, and this is throughout the night, that we didn't have any interference until that last match. And even then, even in the last match, it was just Paul Heyman who was already out there. So no surprise, anything really. Most of these matches were, we're gonna get. I can't wait to get in it. But so like most of these matches were kind of that way. But anyway, I'm happy for Jacob. I mean, nobody has probably come in. There's maybe a couple others, but have come in and really like taken the crowd. Just said boom and said, okay, this guy has it. Yeah, like some people, they walk in, you be like, when you can talk on the mic, got a bang of a theme song, get in the ring, and it looks too easy for you. I don't know what is in the bloodline.
I
mean, like, I don't know what's in the bloodline of these Samoans. These Samoan wrestlers. The agility goes all the way from now to what Yokozuna used to do in the ring.
Yeah.
If you want to know what it is to be an amazing big man in the ring, you go back and just watch any big Samoan, Rosie, Posey, I might be saying it wrong, but 3 Minute Warning, I should just say that. Umaga, obviously, he was one of them. And then
that's his father.
Which is his father. And then you just look at all this, and how great this is. I mean, Yokozuna was a monster in the ring. When doing spinning heel kicks at 600 pounds, crazy work. But it was kind of great. It was great to see. I do want to say something about what Corey said about the mask. Me and the Prince laughed about this last night. Soon as we saw the mask, the first thing I thought of was the video game. Kena. I think it's Bridge of Spirits.
Bridge of Spirits.
Bridge of Spirits. So and for those who are gamers, you'll be like, that's exactly what it looked like. And that happens. They have those little masks on the game, and I was like, wait a minute, I've seen this before.
Hey, low key, good, pretty decent little game. Yeah,
it is a really good game. I fairly enjoyed it. It was only like $40 when it first came out. It's like $20 now. So if you want a fun, if you come and get a little game, he said the story of Fatu and Solo is just about to begin. He's going to be jealous that Fatu did something that he could never get done and bring gold to
the gold to. That's what I love. I like that. Yeah. I like that, and I agree. I could definitely see that. Honestly, I really thought Solo was going to be with him because honestly, in my opinion, I was like, okay, Solo's in an all-white suit. For some reason, I don't trust this man. I don't know what it was tonight. It seemed like certain colors had really popped out tonight. But yeah, again.
Ooh. And don't forget somebody else was in all white a little bit later.
Yeah, man, we're going to talk about that. But one thing I just got to say about my man, Jacob Fatu, that man is so over, and I've said it again, and I'm going to say this before. When this man comes and they show this man in a parking lot walking in a shiesty, this man is over. I've never seen nobody come in a full shiesty ski mask. And people are really just going crazy. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. But, we got to talk about the next match, a match that happened literally overnight because, to our knowledge, we found out Rey Mysterio got injured, got hurt. And who had to actually fill in for him wasn't Rey Mysterio, but it was another Rey. Rey Fenix, baby. Crazy because they didn't give us a thing for that, but it's fine. Rey Fenix did his thing, pulled off a great match. The entrance that he had, I thought it was amazing. I loved how Rey Fenix looked. When it comes to everything that was showcased for Rey Fenix, I thought it was great. First of all, El Grande Americano. That man, come on, man. That man is greatness on another level. I mean, to be honest, I don't think I've seen another luchador go this crazy in the ring. I mean, I don't think. Besides, if I'm talking about Penta or Ray Phoenix, when I'm talking about a luchador that is just excelling, a luchador that is completely American made, a luchador that has killed and has done so much greatness for the Gulf of America. I mean, honestly, I think this was probably one of my most memorable moments to see from El Grande Americano. I mean, great work, great finish. I thought it was great. Love how he did the steel plate to the head. I mean, I thought that was classic heel work. They're doing greatness with him. And honestly, I love what he's doing. I love what he's doing. I'm full on trolling on this one, baby. This is. I love what they did with it. Good finish. I think how they did it was good. You do it with a heel finish. Classic. Use that. Good. That makes Ray Phoenix still look strong. So. I don't think they did anything wrong with that. I love what they did. I thought to pull off a nice, good, classic match and a great, precise match as they did overnight. I think people need to start thinking about that. Like, we got to look at El Grande Americano for how great he is for just coming up and working with Ray Phoenix on the fly. We got to talk about that. That's greatness. That's greatness. But that only comes from one of the best luchadors of all time, El Grande Americano. So, Heartbreak Prince, what are your thoughts, man? What you think?
Hey, I'm sorry, Corey. I'm in disagreement, man. I love El Grande Americano. That's gracias. I mean, he just the whole stick, man. I'm down for it. And that headbutt he delivered to Ray Phoenix yesterday.
I was dying.
That rope.
Oh my God!
Dying. I just yink, and Ray goes down, and he's just out. It is hilarious, man. And I give this match here. I give it this. This is an A for me, like an A minus for me, because of the fact that I got to give him credit for Ray Phoenix to kind of step in and for them to still put on a very entertaining match that really didn't have a great story build up, but still was very good to watch. And Chad Gable, that 450 reverse splash where he landed on his back that dude is such an athlete, man. And we talk about it. I always say he's one of my missed opportunities with the WWE, because that Chad Gable or El Grande Americano should have had a title by now. I mean, that man he should have had a title by now, because he's so good in the ring. And the fact that he's doing this lucha libre stuff and still delivering. I mean, it's amazing. And shout out to Chad Gable and the work he's able to do. And it's like they give him crap and he makes chicken soup out of it. I don't know how else to say it, man. And he works magic with whatever they give him, because they give him some crappy storylines and stuff to be in, but he makes the best.
Working it though.
He makes the most out of it. And he's had my respect now for a minute, because when he picked Rusev up, I'll never forget when he picked Rusev Day. He picked him up, from being pronated, just on the ground, wrapped his arms on him, picked him up, and picked him all the way up into a German suplex. No help from Rusev. I will never forget that. And that's the might of Chad Gable. Ready, willing, and Gable. And so, yeah, I'm all for it. El Grande Americano, keep it up. I'm glad they didn't go down the path of unmasking him right now. I want to let this run for a little bit of time.
Just a little bit longer.
Just a little bit longer.
And I hope this really kind of propels him into getting like a title pitch. I'm not even gonna lie.
He's a missed opportunity.
If El Grande Americano becomes Intercontinental Champion, I'm not mad about that.
No, I'm not mad.
No, not at all. I think it's funny because it's funny because I think one moment they were talking about, man, look at the blender styles of, he's a luchador and he can kind of still do it the American way. I was cracking up. I said, all right, y'all are doing a lot. But and look, this is what I think makes wrestling fun. And Corey, I feel you on this one. I know why you say, all right, this trash. I feel you on that, because it's probably more trash because Chad Gable alone doesn't need this to be how how good he's been over the last couple of years or since he's been on the main roster. He's been good. Even when he was Shorty G, he still made Shorty G work. It was rough, but he made it work. Yeah. He has impressed me a lot, and he's one person that I feel like really can take it to another level, man. Like, if he becomes world champion one day, would not be mad. He would deserve every bit of being a world champion. Yep. He's got enough on the mic. He's got enough where I think people would be like, he just looks like he can be a world champion. If he's the one that beats Jey Uso, I will stand up and applaud. Because the man works hard and he deserves that much. And I think when he signed back, and this is the technical part of wrestling, I think when he signed back, I think the main thing he asked for is at least one title push in that contract. So it's coming. We just don't know when. But I think that they're going to keep this going a little longer, at least until the AAA promotion situation. Now that they are a part of the WWE.
I'm afraid about that.
Yeah, I got a feeling that now that they're a part of the WWE, we're going to see Grande Americano go down there and try to do some things. So I think they're going to hang on to it just a little bit longer. But for me, I'm still going to go B+ on this one. It was a good match. It was a really good match, but I'm going to go B+ because I think and that's all because of storyline and not being where it could have been.
And I agree with Shane here again about this match only having 24 hours, and they still put on such a good match compared to matches that they have been building up and putting resource into, for months. And Corey, I see you here too, where you talk about Gable being good. So it sounds like we on the same page. You just don't agree that they had to go down this path.
I feel that.
I feel it. But a lot of paths they go down with Gable, I really don't think they have to, but this is what they do. I just admire the fact that he can take stuff that is straight trash and just make it entertaining. I mean,
and honestly, I think it's showing versality from him too. Like
because everybody can't do that. You think about Cody Rhodes and Stardust. Like, everybody, you just can't. Sometimes when they start doing that and repackaging you in these different little things, your career it never recovers. I mean, they tried so many times with Baron Corbin, it's unreal. Like you can name quite a few wrestlers where they just kept trying to repackage him, and it never worked. And that's what my fear that's happening too with Karrion Kross. He was great in NXT, but they can't quite figure out how they want to handle him, and they keep doing these different things with him until eventually, it's just going to fall off. And it's just so few people that can just take the trash and just like, all right, I'm gonna make something out of this.
You bring up Karrion Kross real quick. I want to say something about that. The way he reacted at the Hall of Fame when him and Homeboy came up to him and they brought up AJ Styles. Yeah. I'm gonna tell you right now, Kross they've got something and they just won't push that. Yeah, like what he's been doing for months with the putting the people, and this could be, like I said, once again, this long-term storytelling. That's what it feels like. But at some point, you got to pull a trigger. I think in his case, because he's been there for so long, and a lot of people. I think if they do it right and he really goes nasty with it, he could truly take it to another level. But that's just me, man. Like he's won me over because I remember when he was in NXT, I was like, I don't get this guy. I remember we had conversations about it, and I was like, I don't see what the luster is.
What the hype is over.
And it wasn't until I saw him do the Ventura impersonation, and for some reason I'm like, oh, that's funny. He's and then I started seeing videos of him. And how he is, and I'm like, he's got it. It's just they've got to figure out what. Then the work he's done in the last year, just in with the messing with the New Day and messing with these people and messing with the Miz.
Jay's probably gonna be next. I'm gonna call it now. I think Jay's gonna be next. He's gonna say something to him.
I feel like he's I think they gotta just pull the trigger, man. They gotta make it happen.
I think with him too is like with Karrion Kross, I think it's like it gives me like a Fiend kind of feel. And the only reason why I say that is because I know when y'all remember anytime with whoever faced the Fiend, their whole character changed. Like when Finn had lost to the Fiend, what happened? He went to NXT and became the Prince.
Yeah.
When Seth lost to the Fiend, what happened? That man became the Monday Night Messiah.
Yep.
So, like I think that's where they're trying. That's where I'm kind of getting off with him with it. And I do agree. I think they can pull the trigger with him. But I feel like he's gotta they do gotta pull the trigger on him because I think like when I go back to his time in Impact, like in 2018 when he was Killer Kross, he definitely had it. Like it was like he had a certain mystique, like an aura to him that was just very dark, very kind of mysterious. You didn't really know. It was like, who is this guy? And that was like, again, 2018 when I know that was looking at him. But again, when you put him in 2020 and you put him up against Keith Lee, and you have him lose the title because, Keith Lee dropped the North American title, then it looks crazy. But
and Keith Lee was another one they missed on.
Oh, yeah. Come on.
NXT was phenomenal. Got to WWE and they started making that man put on a shirt. Get out of here, Vince.
Oh, my God,
Ridiculous.
Bear
Ridiculous.
cat.
Yeah.
Bear cat. You can't wear. You can't. I don't want to see skin.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's go ahead and kick it off to one of Vince's ultimate favorites back in his time. Of course, Tiffy Time and Charlotte Flair. Now, honestly, I'm not going to lie. This match was a little clunky, and it had a few moments where I was a little worried. Of course, Tiffy Time comes out on top. That's something that she needed. That's the young talent. You got to put her over. There were a few times where, it looked a little bad. Parts where even Charlotte at times was like, wait, my knee. And it seemed like Tiffany, or should I say, Tiffy Time ain't give a damn. And she said, well, guess what? Your time is up. Because Tiffy Time just kept on going and doing what she wanted to do. And there was another part even in the match where Charlotte grabs Tiffy Time and says, I'm going to hurt you and I'm going to do what I want. And I said, whoa, what is this going on here? And at that point, I said, all right, this is crazy. This is a part where I thought, okay, this is a little bit of storytelling, I guess, where Charlotte tells Tiffy Time, you're not going to replace me. It's not your time yet. I thought, okay, pretty poetic. Let's see where it goes. Honestly, this was a match I would say was a C. C minus. I feel like there was parts where I was like, dang, man, like, I wish it could have been a little bit cleaner. I wish it could have been a little bit more. I felt like some professionalism was a little out the window with some of this. So I don't know. Y'all tell me how y'all feel. Mr. Xclusive, what do you think, man? What's your thoughts?
So I will say I thought that overall I'm gonna give it a B. I don't think it was a miserable match, but like I said, the storyline as a whole has been really just it just didn't get it over for me. And I think what the underlying storyline that they wanted to try to tell was, hey, out with the old, in with the new. And they also kind of like this thing where they had them wear the same stuff the entire time. Like that pretty much happened, throughout this storyline where they even when the promo when they were this, they were kind of wearing the same colors, always wearing the same color thing.
What was that
driving. Yeah, like why are they wearing this? Like even last night, why are they wearing pretty much the same colors? Why is that still happening at this point? And like I said, it's something like, to me, maybe out in the old and in with the new type of thing. I'm obviously Charlotte's not going anywhere anytime soon, but I feel like they want this is their next star. This is who they want to be, maybe on their Charlotte Flair, their next level, or the next person to be that Charlotte Flair style person. And I thought they had an all right match. I didn't hate it. But there were, like you said, there was times where it just felt kind of clunky. It really did just feel kind of clunky. And them like mock, like pretty much, all right, they both go after each other's knees. Okay, all right, we're both going after each other's knees, and it's going back and forth. They're both doing the same moves. It just got kind of like, okay, like, I don't know, guys. It just felt like it just never built up to where it needed to be. Like I said, but overall as a match, I still would give it a B because I thought that they, there were some good spots in there. I thought they carried it for the most part very well, but I just wasn't fully invested. I did like Tiffany's entrance. I thought that was pretty good.
That was probably the best part of the matches.
Yeah. So I liked her entrance. I was concerned because I thought she had chipped her tooth, but then in the post match, it looked like her teeth were fine again. So unless her tooth was always, it might have been blood. Unless her tooth has always been chipped and they just popped it back in or whatever. Maybe that's what it was. But I knew the Prince was not happy all the way with Charlotte's entrance. I do know that because we expect so much more from Charlotte's entrance, and it was kind of mediocre.
Rolls-Royce?
I mean, and the Rolls-Royce was nice, but it was kind of.
It's like when you come from a helicopter.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to tap after that, right?
Yeah, I mean, look, when we were in New Orleans that year, Eric, they brought her to the ring and they had her like in the gold thing, and they had
gold.
It was smooth, and like the whole entrance was like, oh, that's a nice. It's like
at this point, the next thing you only can do is just skydive and just immediately land.
Land
that's
in the
the
ring.
only way.
I mean, you gotta teleport or something, like but she's always been like her interest is always something to see.
Yeah, her interest.
And it really wasn't that last night. But there was a couple injuries. Like your world champion doesn't come out to a flashy interest, but I mean that's who he is technically. Yeah. But I mean, where are the tanks or something? Like give me something to make it seem a little bit more flourish. But overall, like I said, I probably rambled a little bit. It's only because I still don't know what to feel about the match overall. I gave it a B just because of the wrestling itself. But I'm glad it's over, hopefully.
Yeah, initially
I'm glad it's over.
Yeah, initially I was thinking a C. I was thinking a C plus, but I had to land on C plus. Because it was a very spotty match. It was very I don't know, it was dry. I don't know how else to say it. And then we talked about it last night. Like you can always tell when it's getting ready to get to the end because it's like the realization comes to Charlotte, like, hey, she's about to lose. And so like those, if you look at like the last 45 seconds or minute of that match, Charlotte was just kind of going through the motions at that point. It wasn't like selling anything or whatever. And you knew she was getting ready to take the L. And we like literally just discussed that in the room. Like, hey, I think just coming down to the end, you can just tell Charlotte's kind of phoning this last portion home. And which is sad. But at the same time, it also kind of to me kind of showed, you know, maybe our boy Sosa Cartier was right. Maybe Tiffy is just mid, you know, because I felt like at the same time, Tiffy wasn't the caliber of what we've seen in the ring. You talk about going against a Charlotte where you have like a Mercedes Moné or Sasha Banks as we knew her in the WWE, or a match with Becky or a match with Bayley. It was almost like Charlotte is trying to carry Tiffy a little bit. And so it was just a weird match to watch. I was kind of happy that they at least kept their professionalism together enough to get through a match because some of the things seemed like it got personal. But Corey, I think you hit a point too, and that's something we talked about, me and E, on the Heartbreak Hotel episode this past week, was this thing with Charlotte. As much as I love Charlotte, I'm a huge Charlotte fan. I love Charlotte Flair. But I also recognize there's this issue with Charlotte where it's like she's like the last dragon. There can only be one.
There can only be one.
And it's like she doesn't have the capacity to like understand, like, hey, there's other people and other talent that deserves their time in the spotlight. And it's like, you know, I feel like when she feels like a situation with Tiffany where she feels like Tiffany's probably a subpar mid wrestler, she doesn't really want to work with her and doesn't think that she should be carrying the women's division. But at the same time, Charlotte, baby, you had your time under the sun. When they put them the title reigns on the screen, it was like 6, 7, 2, 1, like 6 as the women's world champion, 6 as the
Royal Rumble winner.
2 times, like
7, 6, 2.
Yeah, it was like
3.
yeah. I was like, all right, Charlotte, you know, hey, look, the next time you get a belt, I will continue to say this until the day I die. The next time you get a title, it needs to be like a Roman Reigns caliber title reign, because of the fact that I've seen you with the belt 14 times, you know, so make 15 a long title reign and you can do this long story, make it special, all of that type of stuff. But for now, that's something this young talent eat. And, you know, Tiffy right now, I hope that she comes out better from this match and having her first WrestleMania experience, that she grows and really grows to become the champion that she potentially can be, because I liken her to Liv Morgan. For years, Liv Morgan was so mid, you know, and it was like, okay, is this the stuff that the WWE even been giving her to work with, or is she just really a mid talent that, you know, we can't get her out of the mid card, and then she, like, I don't know, blossomed into what she is today, where she's entertaining. Yeah, she you know, like something about her. And so maybe the same thing can happen for Tiffy, and I'll leave it at that.
Well, I think a part of Liv's, just to jump on that real quick, is that I think they let her be more of her personality. Liv's a funny person. Like, I mean, if you ever seen interviews of her where they just kind of be personal with her. The Funny Marco interview, I thought really showed a lot of who she is. And so, like, the person that she's playing right now, I think is kind of her in real life, and I think that works so much for her. So that's why shout out to Tiffany. I don't know, Eric called her the MVP a couple months ago. And what was it? In Elimination Chamber, we call it MVP. The MVP.
Liv Morgan.
She killed that. So give her that shout out. Now, this last thing on Charlotte, I think I definitely don't think Charlotte wants to push people. It's
She
almost
doesn't.
obvious. But here's a contrast and difference. I would have rather have seen Tiffy go up against Roxanne Perez, because when we saw that match a couple weeks ago, that was a heck of a match.
Heck of a match.
Banger.
That's the thing.
Banger.
And that shows you right there comfortability in the ring with people. She's been in the ring with Roxanne and they work well together, and we saw a great match because of that. When you put her in the ring with a person that don't want to work with you, and I think Corey just said it, has the Hulk Hogan mentality. Giving her Hulk Hogan impression. She has that Hulk Hogan, like, hey, if it's not me, I should be able to one to pull the strings, and I should, and I think she has that mentality. Like, if she'd be champion for the next 5 years if she could have it her way. And look, that's why I say I think that, hopefully they smartly give Tiffy people that she works well with in the ring here in the next couple of months to continue to build this title reign.
I think they will.
But that Roxanne Perez match, all I kept saying, I was like, this is the match I want to see at Mania.
Yeah.
When I saw it a couple of weeks ago, I'm like,
even the interaction backstage, it worked. I was like, man, and then it brought you back to those old NXT times. It was like, all right, bet this shows the chemistry. And I think hopefully after Mania, when they start this draft, hopefully we'll see some of that, because I think, somebody like Tiffany Stratton, she's wrestled a lot of those girls that's on the NXT roster right now.
Right.
Yeah.
And they kind of need somebody like her to kind of work with some of those other women that's in there, because that chemistry is going to look real good for them.
Yeah. So. I think it helps everybody as a whole. It's going to, when they do figure that all out and start moving people up, I agree with Eric. It's going to be a really big deal for her and for those other women.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that division is going to, I'd give it at least maybe a year or 2 years. I think that division for the Raw, I feel like for Raw and SmackDown, I would hopefully, practically, theoretically, would hope that it would be like just as good, if not better, by the time in 2 years tops.
Yeah.
But we want to talk about something that was good. We want to talk about something that we always talk about all the time, something that had aura, something that had storyline, something that just kept getting better. And honestly, I thought this overall was the match that had me wake up, the match that had me glued to the screen, the match that had me on the edge of my seat. Because this is something that we've been talking about since we've started. This is something that we've talked about, that's been something that's been going on for even before we've started. Because when we talk about this storyline here, we talk about Roman Reigns, the OTC. We talk about the Visionary, Seth Rollins, the Monday Night Messiah. When we talk about CM Punk, the best in the world. When we talk about these men, this is what had storyline. This is something that had, an incredible, just great spots, great energy. The crowd was involved. This was something that everybody was paying attention to. Everybody wanted to see what was going to happen with this. Honestly, what I love the most was starting off WrestleMania and seeing Seth in I don't even know what attire he was in, but to be honest, I ain't gonna lie, Seth got me. Seth, you got me, Brian. Honestly, if I still had my Monday Night Rollins shirt, man, I'd have put that on today. But reasons as to why I put this shirt on today was Roman. And of course, with Paul Heyman, because this ain't a thing no more. This is done. This is dead. This is gone. I might as well just burn it now. But it's done. We ain't having it no more. I'm going to tell you right now, this was something that I thought was great. What I thought, honestly, seeing Seth, first time, I thought about it. Because I thought about Seth. Came out in all black. He was whole black. Then he was switched up in an all white. And the first thing I thought about, who else did something like that? He didn't come out in all black first, but he came in all white. I thought about my man, HBK, Shawn Michaels, coming out in all white. And I thought to myself, well, if you going to give a classic or something like that, that's something that you did. Okay? You came out in all white. You gave us a classic, Seth. And I ain't going to lie, bro. You are truly the visionary because you gave us that final piece. Okay, honestly, I thought to myself, who was going to win? I kept saying, I don't know. And then we kept saying, I was like, I feel like it might be Seth. But I had no idea as to why. I had no clue. I said, maybe out of all people, maybe Seth is going to be the one that wins this. And he did. And I thought what was crazy had us all fooled. Paul Heyman, the wise man, the advocate, the slime ball. Some people can't give him all different kind of
The
names.
slime ball.
The slime ball. That's Taz used to call him that all the time.
The slime ball.
The slime
Not
ball.
the slime ball.
Yeah,
The slime ball's crazy. Well, this man
Diabolical.
comes around and he gives the chair
Foreshadowing.
to CM Punk. Then Roman is just confused. Then literally, right to the low blow to CM Punk. Tells him you made me choose. Gives the chair to Roman. Hands him the chair. Most poetic thing, I thought to myself, man, you done hand this man the chair that you about to give. I ain't even gonna get to that part yet, but we gonna go back in a second because we gonna peel it back like some layers on the onions. So you give this man the chair, you hand it to Roman. Roman's looking at Seth. Seth is just barely getting up. And of course, anybody can see this callback moment. One of the best callback moments. One of the only callback moments. Classic, even a moment for me because honestly, I tell people all the time. The first when I stopped watching wrestling for 2 years, I was in high school. I was 17. What am I doing? When I stopped watching wrestling for 2 years, I was 19 and came back, 2014. First episode I seen was Seth Rollins turning on the Shield. That was my first. That's how I seen Seth. So Seth, this is how you got me. This is how I know you. So when I seen Roman, he got the chair, takes Paul Heyman and turns him and moves him to the side. I said, "Oh, wait a minute, what's going on?" And then I seen Paul. I seen Paul look down a couple of times. I said, "Hold the hell up, Paul. What are you doing? What is going on?" And then Paul goes down. I mean, this low blow was probably the sickest low blow. This man was sick. I mean,
bro.
what was that, Paul?
Diabolical work, bro.
Diabolical. And to see, I mean, Seth with Paul, to see how he did, how he hit. First of all, the way that handoff to the chair, I like that. I don't know what it was with Paul. That was smooth to me. I said, go ahead, Paul.
That's okay. I see you.
And then honestly, he does the acknowledgement, and then the way that looked, Seth with Paul, I'm all for this. This is something I didn't even think. I was like, I don't think I want. But the way how that looked, man, I am invested. I am all for it. And I say, let's keep it going. Let's keep this ball rolling. And I'm all for it, baby. Because it's something that we talk about. I'm going to tell you all the time. We talk about aura. We talk about storyline. We talk about how good is this getting. And this has gotten so good, I can't stop wanting to watch it. And honestly, I still think this is going to set us something up for tonight. Honestly, I really do think. I think something with Seth winning last night is going to have something to do with Cody and Cena. And I really think so.
What did I say? It's happening.
What did I say?
It's happening.
Have so much story already. First of all, with Cody and Seth, we already know this. Seth, what happened when he first came back to WrestleMania 38? Who the hell did he beat? Seth Rollins. And you would beat Seth 3 times. You low-key got a vendetta against this man, and you don't want to talk about it. Then all of a sudden you have amnesia when it comes around WrestleMania 40. Y'all buddy. You want to tag team with him. But then you have a problem with Cody when he was doing all this stuff with Roman, trying to help him. So I already know if you're going to work with Paul Heyman, and Paul Heyman already done turned on Roman, I already know for a fact Seth's got something to do with tonight. So you know what? That's my call. That's what I'm saying. Break Prince, what are your thoughts, man? What you think?
Hey, first of all, let me give shout out to my uncle here, Blackbeard TV Travel Channel. Y'all check that out for sure. I appreciate you popping in, Unc. Thank you. And we're going to do our best to keep it going. But let me jump right in. Let me just dive right in. First of all, hey, if you watch Heartbreak, I'm going Paul Heyman style. I'm diving right in. So, listen, if y'all watch Heartbreak, this is something we talked about. And I have to apologize.
Oh, man, that's great.
I have to apologize to the man known as Seth freaking Rollins. I have to apologize to the man that we know as the Architect. And I'm gonna tell you how this match played out for me because D was in here with me, so he was live. The hype, the mindset that was going on when we were watching the execution that my man Shane talked about, because we on the same page,
Right.
Shane. So this match for me, I'm gonna tell you exactly how it went. It started out as an A, and when Paul got in there and did the low blow to CM Punk. No, when he picked up the chair, I knew magic was getting ready to happen. I told D'Lo, I said, hey, I think this is gonna happen just like we talked about. He's gonna toss a chair in there. It's supposed to be for we think it's for Roman or CM Punk, but it's actually the favor that he owes the architect.
We were screaming at the TV.
We were screaming at the TV.
It's the favor.
And when CM Punk, when Roman or CM Punk picked up the chair and Paul got behind him, gave him the low blow, it went from an A- to an A. And then when he got behind my man Roman Reigns, and the way it was done, the execution of it was spot on, because it's like the wise man lived up to why he's the wise man. Because Roman moved him, and it's like the wise man knew, he expected it. He moved him behind him, and wise man's like, all right, I get behind you, and just boom, low blow there. And the whole time we're losing our mind, but that low blow was it was no bread, no water, just me.
That's Paul right there.
This is for the tables y'all put me through, because you when you lost as the tribal chief and the whole group put me through the table. I didn't sleep for days. My eyes and face was all red. He gave Roman something to remember and just wiggle it all up in there.
Hey, I want you to feel it.
But Seth Rollins, y'all, the architect, is what just sent it over the edge, because the whole time he's laying there with his back to the crowd, and he stands up after that low blow, and all he doesn't even turn around and look at Roman. He doesn't even turn around and look at Paul. He just puts the hand out to the side, and Paul Heyman places the chair in it. And the only thing I could think was, you are the last dragon. You possess the power of the globe. I mean, when Seth Rollins says, who's the master? You say, show enough. And man,
you say Seth Rollins.
It's the way he did it. It was storytelling at its peak. It was cinema. And when he put the hand out, Paul Heyman goes over, puts the chair in his hand. I said, this saved WrestleMania night one.
Yes.
Because if there's anything I can go back to on night one and rewatch again, it is this. It is the story. It is how they did it. And the fact that, like I said, I was thinking when, like we talked about in the Heartbreak, I was like, man, Seth, do you belong in this match? Because you had it when you were talking about you're missing this piece, Roman. There's this piece you're missing. You kept hinting at it, and then you said, I don't trust Paul Heyman. I'm like, now that was just a throw. We thought it was a throwaway line. That threw us off the trail, because Paul Heyman, he knew the entire time was going to be in his corner. And I get so hype about it, because it's the way that story went, the way they delivered it, and just the picture perfect moment of Seth Rollins climbing up off the ground. It was all like just and standing up and just like, now let me finish this off.
Let me go ahead.
A1, A+. D, let me let you get it, because I couldn't help it, because we were just so hyped last night.
There's a lot.
So hyped.
There's a lot to get into on this. First of all, I'm gonna give a shout out to my man D Bland, D Bland of the Not So Bland Show. Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks for tuning in, Bland.
What he said here is what I told the Prince last night. I said this is the combination of what we're gonna. I think we see tonight. And I know we got predictions, so I don't want to go too deep, but this is what I kind of think we see tonight. At the end on that stage where all of them are standing there together, and we're gonna be like, what the is gonna happen on Raw tomorrow? Because everybody and their third cousin gonna be tuned in. If this happens that way, happens that way. Now,
might be the authority.
I'm gonna take this back a little bit. All right, so here's the thing: Seth Rollins has been, I don't want to say a mid-card champion, because that's not the way, but he's been a mid-tier superstar for a while now. Seth Rollins is a great wrestler. He can, he's obviously got the fans. We know all that stuff. He's got that. The problem is, if you were to rank Seth Rollins top 10 wrestlers right now in WWE, you probably wouldn't put him no higher than 3. You probably wouldn't put him no higher than 3 in most books because you're going to put Roman ahead of him. There's cases you may put CM Punk in front of him. You may put Cody Rhodes in front of him. Obviously, because Cody Rhodes has actually got his number. So I mean, maybe even 4. So you may not put him that higher than that. Now I'm gonna go back to WrestleMania last year. Last year, when I was at the WrestleMania preview or kickoff show in Vegas, when it was
y'all watch that? He's there.
I'm in there. I'm right there behind. I'm right there behind my guy.
We've been telling y'all we're there.
Hey, so when I was there, I remember there's a scene where they're all on the stage at the end, and obviously, he smacks Cody, all that fun stuff. But if you remember then, and I think you guys would agree with me, Seth felt like a fourth wheel. All right, he's the fourth wheel in this category. He's there, but okay, why are you there? Okay, you're Seth Rollins. We got to get you in there. You're big enough of a name that you can be in that spot. All right, now he has been the side wheel to Cody Rhodes to help build Cody Rhodes to where he is right now. He was the champion for a while. But even then, he was treated as, guess what? You're a second-tier champion. How many times did Roman Reigns tell this man he was a second-tier champion compared to him? And they're both world champions at this time. You're a second-tier champion. How many times have CM Punk came to this man and said, I'm not even worried about you. I'm worried about the money. I have nothing to worry about you. This is what he said just a couple months ago. All of this. Plus, even myself, I said a couple weeks ago on this show, Seth Rollins feels like a third wheel in this match. I said that because that's the way it felt. Like, why is he's complaining about this? Why is this? I was like, yo, you should be happy to be in this match. And now it all makes
sense.
Perfect sense. Why is this happening? He has been, excuse my language, on Easter Sunday, shitted on.
No,
good God.
Yeah, good.
And that's GAWD.
And even with the world title reigns and all this stuff, he has been absolutely shitted on here in the last couple of years. Championships and all, it just doesn't even make a difference. People look at Seth Rollins and they don't think of him as a top tier. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's not 1 or 2, he's 5 at best, 4 at best, depending on where you want to put him at. But look at it now. Automatically, you are now looked at as the number 1, number 2 guy. Why? Because now you have the greatest manager of all time sitting in your corner.
Come on.
Everything changed in that moment. Now, somebody posted, I can't remember who it was, but somebody posted, he was like, hey, he was the advocate for Brock Lesnar. He was the wise man for
Roman Reigns.
Yeah. So, and now, what is he going to be for Seth Rollins? Everybody and their third cousin is now intrigued about what Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman are going to do together. That's what made last night special. Because now when you thought, the bloodline storyline is getting a little bit stale, this is maybe not what we wanted to be. And just like that, nobody, if you'd have told me last year, baby, if you'd have told me a couple years ago that this would have been the case where we would see Paul Heyman and Seth Rollins be together, nobody would believe you. But now, after all the crap that he's taken, now they're together. We about to see greatness. And that's what made last night great. At least that match made that saved last night. Made last night greatness. Yeah. Seth Rollins has a chance now to take where he was to a new level.
Yeah.
Can he surpass Roman Reigns? I don't know, but it's gonna get darn near close, depending on how they work this. So shout out to the WWE of working that out. Because Seth Rollins said, I'm tired of y'all know me. I'm done with it. It's time.
It's his time.
And he's been saying that in his promos for weeks now. And
prime time.
What I liked also, and I want to touch on really quick too, is I believe we saw the heel transformation of Seth Rollins last night. I think he's getting ready to go full heel. He's been trying to plead with the audience for weeks to acknowledge him as the savior of the WWE when it comes to like, hey, CM Punk packed his ball up and left. Roman Reigns has gone part-time. I've been here through the thick, the thin, my knee holding on by a string, my father-in-law sick and dying, and I came every single night to deliver for you, and the fans were still chanting CM Punk, or Roman Reigns, and so that had to bother him. And now we get this. This is what happens. He cracked, and this is what happened, and it's just. This is going to be magic tonight. If this goes the way that we're thinking, and you're talking about the final boss involvement, you're talking about John Cena. This has great potential and makes night 2 that much more interesting.
Well,
especially when it comes to that final.
I throw this in there real quick. D Bland said, what does this mean for Roman? Is he face now? All that stuff. It may not even be that, but I'm gonna tell you what last night did do. They set up next year's WrestleMania last night. They set the storyline on what's going to be the story for the next year last night. Now, we don't know what exactly that story is going to shape out, but they have planted seeds. They've been doing this the last couple of Manias. So right now, I think they planted that seed on where they're going to kind of move here in the next year.
Yeah.
And so tonight that match made tonight huge.
It did.
Donald Trump, huge. Huge. It made it huge. It's going to be huge. It's going to be the best thing you've ever seen in your life. It's going to be the best thing you've ever seen in your life.
The greatest magic trick of all time.
Wait a minute. I've never seen anything like this. It's the greatest magic trick I've ever seen. Love you, Bobby the Brain. Love you, Bobby the Brain.
Enid.
But that's why I'd say that, y'all. I just
watch out. Pencil neck geeks.
Tonight takes. They got to get it right tonight, but I feel like I think last night set the story for WrestleMania 42.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man. I think and this might be crazy, but I was kind of thinking about it, and I think about John Cena talking about what's best for business. I think about Seth Rollins saying best for business.
Yep.
Triple H with his whole promo that the interview that he did, and I'm starting to think, what if? Now, hear me out. This is I'm throwing this theory out because when I seen how Roman, how he was, and there we go, I love that. How I seen how Roman was, I was like, oh, so are we bringing back Trails of the Big Dog? Because if you've seen how he was acting, his reactions, him being extra, just extra angry, I said, oh man, this is big dog stuff. But I think when I seen it, I said, okay, it seems like he can do big dog stuff and still come off as OTC. And I think this is what they wanted in 2015. I think how the OTC is, this is what they wanted. And I think this is what they're about to go with the route with Roman going by himself. That's one thing. Second thing, I think we are going to see a new authority come back. I think that is going to happen. I think because you brought back Seth as a heel. He's been saying this whole thing, getting back with business. John Cena at the time used to have a whole thing with the authority. And how many times have we seen Seth Rollins and John Cena have problems when Seth was in the authority? And of course, Roman had his problem with the authority. So I'm thinking we might just see the authority 2.0 with Triple H. Probably with the final boss.
The final boss.
With John Cena and Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman right there in the stable. Now, if they do something with this, I'm thinking if they do this right, how I'm saying this, how my man Jacob Fatu will say how I'm saying this.
Yeah, that I mean.
Yeah, I think we're going to see something great. And honestly, it would make sense because if the final boss comes back tonight and helps Cena and does all this whole thing, we see the Authority 2.0 in a different light, in a whole different group. I think they're going to pull off something incredible. And it could, again, just like you were saying, Mr. Exclusive, this could send us off to something for WrestleMania 42 because It would make so much sense because if The Rock had put so much effort into talking about WrestleMania 42, if the final boss is going to be around there for WrestleMania 42, why not be there as the final boss in the Authority? Now, that's if the final boss is going to be there full time. I'm not even going to throw that theory out because we know how the final boss does. He does what he wants to do. And same thing for John Cena. But if this is his last year, why not be part of the Authority? Why not do this? You already went heel. It's time.
Yeah.
It's time. Prime time, baby.
Yeah.
They got a story cooking here, fellas. I'm ready. I'm in. I like, hey, look, I'm sampling the soup. Need a little more salt. Like,
a little sprinkle here. You like some oregano in there? I don't care. Just a little sprinkle. Just give me something.
They cook, and Shane brought up, man. Shane, the insights, man. I love it because you picked up on this about this last night too, with him coming out in the all black. Lights go black, but he turns and it comes back on, and he's in the all white as the side, like. And then you saw he had the glasses with the thorns on, and we was talking about like the
Messiah,
the Monday Night Messiah.
Seth was cooking, like Seth was delivering from intro to end, and that saved WrestleMania Night 1 for me, and it probably did for many people. It really did.
It did. Yeah. It truly did.
It did. Well, let's go ahead and give our predictions for night 2 because we know that's coming up. I mean, honestly, I could keep talking about this storyline for at least another hour because it was so good. If we really wanted to break that down, I mean, Seth, again, y'all said with the outfits, going from black, burning it down. When you talk about burning it down, I could almost talk about my man Kendrick. Talking about saying he wants to watch the party die, wants to watch the party burn. Okay? These people are doing crazy things here. Seth is working. I love what you did, Seth. The Monday Night Messiah, the Visionary. Now the name of the Visionary really is the picture. Yeah. It just poetic. But let's go ahead and I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's
hype. It's hype.
They got something with this, man. I'm thinking that Authority, man. We see it happen. We're gonna see. So let's go and get into this, man. We got Logan Paul going up against AJ Styles. To be honest, AJ, you need to win this. Karrion Kross told you this. I'm not going to tell you no more than what he already told you. If he told you have to win this for everybody, you better do what he told you to do. Because if you lose to Logan Paul, I'm pretty sure a lot of people will be pissed. Granted, we like what Logan Paul does. He's incredible in the ring. But again, to beat AJ Styles, hell no. Or should I say, hell no, because that's not happening at all. What are y'all thoughts, man? Who y'all got on this for tonight?
It's gonna be controversial. I got Logan on this. I'm gonna have to go Logan on it because I think this is their way of trying to start building Logan up now that he's going full time. They probably want to finally get because Logan, he's one of those controversial, figures, right? And what better way to continue to get more heat on him? And maybe he could play into this story, this authority line thing as well. But then to have him have a match with AJ Styles and win, I don't know if AJ Styles needs this at this point in time in his career. I will say Logan would need it more, especially if we want to respect him as a now full-time wrestler. So I'm going to say they'll probably go with a surprise upset here, and we're probably going to get the pulverizer to finish this match, and Logan Paul will end up being victorious.
All right. I'm gonna also, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm gonna also go with Logan Paul. If you notice, I mean, Logan Paul's only done like 24, 25 matches.
Yeah.
And he's lost a lot in the big matches, but he's always had a strong showing. AJ's at a point in his career that he doesn't need to win this match. AJ's been in the game for a long time. I'm pretty sure AJ's won a WrestleMania because he beat Shane. So he won at least a couple WrestleMania matches here and there. But he's been in a big one with Undertaker in that classic match. He's had some good WrestleMania moments. The guy's a first ballot Hall of Famer. So, I don't think he needs this match. I think it's going to be a really good match because Paul hasn't done anything bad. And AJ Styles, God forbid, no injury or anything or injury on either side. You're going to be fine. So I really see a good match. I think you don't break out a brand new finisher and they keep highlighting the pulverizer.
The pulverizer.
Without it coming to effect tonight.
Yeah.
Brass knucks into a pulverizer. It's gonna suck for AJ, but I think this is a big one for Logan Paul because he doesn't win a lot of these big pay-per-view matches, but he does usually show up and show out. I also have Mr. Logan Paul.
And real quick too, I also think AJ's professional enough that he probably doesn't mind putting over a young talent like this. He's probably not going to try to nip the bud of this person like Logan Paul, who's just coming into the business and trying to lift off. So yeah, but I do believe it will be a phenomenal P1 match.
I like that. P1 match. I like that.
P1. Oh man, and so this card is pretty interesting. So. Well, I mean, we talk about this street fight, man. I mean, we talk about the next one with Drew and Damian Priest. Honestly, in my opinion, who needs this? Drew McIntyre. And he has to win this. Honestly, we've said this before. This is one of those. It's one of those where it could have been on Raw or SmackDown, but it's okay. We're gonna let that slide because, of course, hey, that's Drew. As long as he's praying, I have no problem with you, Drew. Just keep your prayers up. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, I got Drew in this, man. I think Drew's going to take this. I think the momentum he's had, I think it's looking good. Don't get me wrong. They might give this to Damian Priest. I can see them doing that for Damian since he's looks kind of like he's been getting his ass handed to him the last few weeks. I mean, yeah. So I could see Damian getting this dub, but I would love to see Drew win this and just kind of keep that momentum going. But I guess as a heel, you can do that. You can take an L and keep on pushing and keep doing what you got to do. But yeah, I want to see Drew get this, man. Overall, what's your thoughts, guys? What do y'all think? Who do you guys got for this?
I think for me, I'm gonna go with Drew. I actually kind of think Drew needs this one more. I mean, yeah, this would be a nice one for Damian, but Damian already kind of has a leg up in this rivalry because that's the whole purpose of this match in the first place, is that Damian Priest has kind of had that heads up on Drew. So Drew needs this match, especially after last year's Mania. To win the title, get the title taken from you within 5 minutes. It's been a cloud hanging over his head. I got Drew in this one. You signed this man to a big contract. Not too long ago, and it's getting close to time where Drew has to start getting in to get that championship back, like truly have the title back. He's a guy that can carry the company. We're still waiting for Drew to have the belt with the crowd being around. Like that was the whole purpose of last year was, hey man, I was a champion during the time when no one's here. Well, guess what? People have been back, and this man hasn't had the title. So I think it's coming. It's got to happen here at some point. But I'm going with Drew over Damian. And I like Priest. Priest has won me over here in the last couple of months because there was a time I'm like, I don't get the, whatever. The crowd is starting to feel Damian a lot, which I think is important. I think he's a low tier champion, like heavyweight championship guy. Definitely a mid card champion, for sure. But I think he's low tier, world heavyweight championship material at this point, but I got to go with Drew in this one.
Yeah, and I'm in the same boat. I think Drew's going to go ahead and get this one because I think you got to keep the rocket strapped straight to Drew's legs as far as him going up because he's done so well this year and he's been in so many great matches. And I think he has the heat already, on him as far as being the heel that he is. And so I don't think you want to kill that momentum that Drew, really has. So like Damian, I think can take an L and still be okay as long as it's done the right way. And by the right way, I mean, I see Drew being the heel that he is, using some hook or by crook scheme to kind of win this match where it still makes Damian look strong. But Drew, I think it would be a bigger blow to him to lose the match, especially because of, like I said, he's a heel. He's already got the heat on him. People kind of, already don't like Drew or whatever. And it'll give him a little bit of clout, to kind of come out some way, using some type of cheap method to beat Damian to kind of push him into his next storyline, whoever that may be with.
Yeah, I feel that, man. Yeah, I mean, it's got to go to Drew, man. I feel like the momentum he's been doing, it looks good, but again, he's a heel. So I mean, yeah, he could take the L, but if he takes the L, y'all got to give him something else and give him something good. But when it comes to Damian Priest, I'm not gonna lie, he has moments where he can be better. He has moments where he sounds strong, looks strong. But again, when it comes to Drew, I mean, we talk about when we look at the kickoff show that they had, like the pre-show that they did for Mania Night 1. This man Drew's out here throwing deodorant to people. People are eating it up, cheering for it. Come on. The
Drew's
man
that
is
dude,
beyond
man.
over.
Yeah.
He's due. He's
Yeah.
due. So what? Let's go back to let's go to the next match we got on the card. A match that we have no idea what's going to happen because Bailey's injured. Apparently Bailey's injured. Seems like it happens 2 nights in a row. You got Rey Mysterio getting injured, and then all of a sudden that's got to change, and all of a sudden now Bailey gets injured, and now this has to change. So apparently now Lyra has 24 hours to find her partner. I'm telling you right now, better not be Becky Lynch.
Better
It
not.
better not be the android. It
I think it's
better
gonna be
not
Roxanne Perez.
I'd be okay with that. I'd be okay with that. But if I hate to say it, but logically, it might be Becky Lynch. Now, again, I feel like the only reason why, and we can go back to me real quick on this one. The only reason why I feel like Becky Lynch is probably going to be the one that is going to return. I feel like she threw everybody off, maybe telling everybody, yeah, I'm not wrestling right now. I'm not really focused on it. Okay, cool. Then why were you on the Raw commercial? Why did they have you on there? Why were you on that? So if you wasn't wrestling, then why would they put you on the commercial? I get it. You're the man. You're the man. You do all that and the third. Okay, whatever. But come on. You not wanting to wrestle, that's your life, girl. I get it. You a mom, but you know what your life is. Come on, your man's is doing it. Your man's is doing some of his best work right now. Stop playing. It might be. I don't want it to be Becky, but it might. So let's be cautious for that. Let's also proceed with caution with that, please. I don't want that. I mean, now again, if it's Roxanne Perez, cool.
See what you did there.
Yo, was slick.
Like that, yeah. Naomi would have loved that. I'm telling you. But I mean, yeah. Again, I don't even think this is a match that is going to be that crazy. If anything, I feel like Liv again is going to be the one that's going to be MVP. Liv and Raquel, because I'm not going to discredit Raquel. I feel like her and what Liv and Raquel do together as a tag team was good. Yeah, my man, Mr. Blend liked that one. That's good. So I think as a whole, I think they both are really good together. I think they're going to thrive in this. Maybe whoever they get, they might get a nice little pop, depending on who the person is. If they want a big pop, they're probably going to go for Becky Lynch, maybe. But again, please, let's just move on with this. What are y'all's thoughts? What do y'all think?
First of all, I want to say that know the deal. Say it makes no sense to put 2 belts on Lyra.
And shout out that he's a Cowboys fan.
Yeah, she doesn't even talk right now. So, Prince, you want to go first? I just wanted to throw that in there. I'm like,
yeah, no, this is one of those matches where again, profits are up. That's all I'm gonna say on that. And I honestly I don't have a whole lot of vested in this. I love Liv. I love Raquel. I just feel like they're going to win the match. It doesn't matter who the partner is, this mysterious partner is. I don't see them losing the belts. So it's like, let's just get through the motions. But I know I'm going to be entertained by Liv. And so I'm going to go ahead and pick Liv and Raquel on this match right here, regardless of who the opponent is, even if it is the Mon, Becky Lynch.
Well, I'm going to go opposite on it. If this is Becky Lynch, there's a part of me that makes me think that, that they win it. But to me, it doesn't make sense to take the belts from Raquel and Liv, but we also know that this is the women's tag team division in the WWE, and they tend to not make sense from time to time. Now, the other part of this, if you go back and watch, there was a clip. Stop speaking on names. It's like Candy. It's like Candyman.
Yeah,
Shout
out to Red Air. Appreciate you coming through.
One night basis said, "Please don't do it. Please don't do it."
Yeah.
But it's like if you go back and watch, there was a clip. I don't know if it was actually during the show at Stand and Deliver or it was after. But when Paxley, how do I say her name? Well, when
Tatum Paxley
and they had won the match, and Gigi, after they had won the match, they kind of were talking about how, Lyra, and they were excited about it. So if there's a part of me wants to say, they're going to win because they, that would be the better match maybe for NXT on. I think that this match happens on Tuesday on NXT. Whoever wins the match. But then again, I mean, having Liv and Raquel down there would be bigger for that person. So this one's a tough one to call. I want to say Liv and Raquel. There's a part of me that thinks it will be Becky because obviously, Becky and Lyra had that little thing when Lyra first moved over, and so they're kind of friends, and obviously Becky would be the bigger pop. They need that type of stuff there. There's no other women's wrestler that I can think of it could be that would be maybe coming out of nowhere and like, oh my God, why is this person here? And it would be, great. I don't know if if any of these ladies have beef. It's just hard to kind of tell. And the only person I can think it would be that I know it won't be would be Sasha Banks. That would be the only thing that'd be like, oh my God, Sasha Banks, that'd be crazy. But we know that's not happening. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Liv and Raquel in this one, and just no Lyra two belts, man. She doesn't speak now.
No,
she doesn't talk right now. So I don't even know what her voice sounds like.
Yeah, no, I'm telling you, I'm starting to think, man, it might be the man, and if the man does come out, then I'm telling you, they're probably gonna take them titles off of Liv and Raquel. I don't.
They mentioned her again.
That.
Oh no,
but I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you, bro.
Sorry,
I'm really. It's going. I feel it, bro. I didn't like understand it, but then I was like, oh, no, this is because out of everybody else, when we look at Lyra and Bayley, everybody kept saying this is a tag team that became that was a tag team that developed in a week, and how do they win? This is ridiculous. This is stupid. Mm-hmm. We hate this. Now, if Bayley's injured and you bring the man, and now you and the man have won the tag team champions. Now, Bayley, I need you to beat the hell out of Lyra and take that title.
Yes.
Real quick, I like this. This is what I'm talking about. Right
I would take that one.
I would take this. I would take Alexa Bliss. She should have been on the show anyway. Yeah.
I'll take that one. Didn't Liv and Alexa had a little beef before Alexa went away again?
They did.
Now? Okay. Okay. I'll take Alexa. I'll take Alexa.
I'll take Alexa. Yeah, we'll go with Alexa.
If Alexa comes out, I'm switching. I want Alexa.
Yeah.
Hey, look. Alexa.
Yeah, if Alexa comes out, take the titles off of Liv and Raquel. Let's go.
Yeah. We'll go with that. And Randy, I mean, okay, so let's talk about this real quick. Honestly, I'm going to tell you right now, if we don't have Nick for this, I am rioting. This is ridiculous. It has to be Nick, and it better be Nick. Because if it is not Nick, it's a problem. Nick ought to be the one. Why? Because Nick has already gotten RKO'd by Randy Orton. Not once, but twice. And the first time it happened was just out of nowhere for real. There was no reason. And Nick ain't even say nothing. He just let that one slide. Because that's the man that's strictly business. That's the man that held 10 pounds of gold. Stop playing with Nick Aldis. I'm telling you right now, the only way this makes sense, you better give it to Nick Aldis. Because, excuse me, I got to get myself right for this. Because if you don't give this to Nick, it makes perfect sense. It has to be Nick Aldis. Because this is a man that don't got to get ready because he stay ready, okay? Because on Chris Van Vliet, Chris asked him, are you ring ready? He said, oh, yeah, I'm always ready. I always got my gear. I'm always ready, okay? Nick's ready. The storyline's there. That man has already talked about, Randy's already talked about Mickie James a few times. So I know Nick ain't going to let this slide. Now, I see what you're saying, my man Bland, but the only reason why that's not going to happen for Aleister Black, because they already announced him debuting on SmackDown for the 25th. So I don't think they're gonna make that happen a little early. If they do, that's cool. But if anybody's gonna do it, I need it to be Nick Aldis. That man deserves it.
Oh God, no!
Oh, please don't say that.
Oh my God, don't! Oh,
hell no!
Oh,
we don't need to see Goldberg.
Oh my God,
we don't.
Scary.
We don't need to see Goldberg at all.
Oh my God!
I'll tell you this. Somebody said, "What if it's Brock Lesnar?" I said, "Huh." I don't know. Still wouldn't add up to me. Again, I get it. We want to throw in random people. We want to throw in everybody else. But if we want to throw in something that makes sense, please, for the love of God, let my man Nick Aldis get his. Y'all don't even have him as a wrestler. My man is a producer. He's doing something behind the scenes and it's still ring ready.
Yeah.
Give the man that had the 10 pounds of gold, give the man that is strictly business his time. Give him his match. Because we don't know if he's going to be doing anything on the main roster now. So if you don't give him something, give him a solid 15, 17-minute match. Because you know Nick Aldis can give you that. Like my man ain't give you a classic with him and Cody for the 10 pounds of gold before. Stop playing with him. What's y'all thoughts, man? Go ahead.
Oh, boy.
I'm hot, baby.
I feel it in your spirit. Look, here's the thing. I mean, Aldis has to. It's 100%. This has to be Aldis. I feel like they've semi-built this, and they built it quick But low key, like I said earlier in the show, this is a long-term storytelling, but it's very like it was just enough. That RKO a year ago was just enough to set the tables for this. So it needs to be Aldis. Now, if you're not going to go Aldis, obviously Rusev Day is my backup choice because Eric, you remember this when we were in New Orleans and we were walking down Bourbon Street. What did you hear the people chanting continuously while we were walking down Bourbon Street? Like
Rusev Day.
How big was Rusev Day at that time frame? And he just he should have got the push he never got. So every day is Rusev Day.
Every day.
So that's why I would take Rusev. After that, I don't know where this goes. Unless you're pulling, even if it was like Jericho would be a nice little shock, but I don't think Jericho's still in contract. So it has to be somebody that's going to be like, oh, shoot, that person returned it. Like, it has to be that. If it's not going to be those two, it's got to be somebody that completely shocks us all. If it's not Aldis or Rusev, in my opinion, it's got to be one of those. I think no matter who it is, if it's somebody returning or Aldis, I think that person wins. I really do think that person wins. If it's somebody like, I don't know. I don't know. There's other people that I think, and then Randy will win. But Randy's also in a point in his career. He does not need to win here. Him having a match here with his career, dwindling down. This is his 20th WrestleMania, which is crazy to say out loud.
That's crazy.
He doesn't really.
That is crazy.
He doesn't need to win here. So I just hope whoever it is that it's somebody that's worth making that push for them coming back or so on and so on.
Yeah, definitely. Heartbreak Prince, what's your thoughts, man? What you think?
Hey, I'm up for Nick Aldis or Rusev, either one of those. And I think whoever it is, I think if it's Nick Aldis, I think Randy Orton wins. I think if it's Rusev, I think Rusev wins just because it's like a good return type of thing. And so I'm down for any of those. And I'm kind of excited for this match only because I want to see who they decided to go with. But it would be nice to see Nick Aldis get an opportunity to be in a WrestleMania because he deserves it for his run with the 10 pounds of gold, baby. So
yeah, I feel that one, man. I feel that. I mean, hey, even if Nick does win, I'm all for it because I think he should. Shoot, talking about Mickey like that, shouldn't do that.
Hey, Rare. Maybe we could get that punt. Maybe we can still get the punt tonight if it's with Aldis.
Yeah, he might send Aldis to Jesus if he get that punt off. So we're gonna be waiting for it though. We're gonna be waiting for it.
So of course, the next match we got on the card, a match that actually got some story to it. Honestly, something that we're kind of all intrigued about.
Yes.
Fatal 4-way. Finn, Dirty Dom, Braun Breaker, and Cero Miedo himself, Penta. Honestly, my pick, Dirty Dom. I'm going to tell y'all right now, Dirty Dom is taking this. It's his time. I think we done seen so much. They even said so much stuff about him not being the champion, all this, that, and third. I'm like, all right, bet. How are you going to do the Dirty Dom? And the way Liv was looking at Finn, I think she's going to have something to do with this as well. So I think it's Dirty Dom's time. And my thing is crazy. They try to say, Dom's never had a singles title run. Yes, he has. The North American title. Why y'all acting like he didn't do it? Come on now. Stop playing. All right? Let's stop doing that. Let's stop forgetting Dirty Dom that already didn't have a single title run. Look, he's got this. The man's already over. He's got a heel. He's a heel. He's about to be pretty much running the Judgment Day. He's already trying to get a whole nother member. Come on. Let's stop playing with Dirty Dom. He's going to be that new champion. I think Braun Breaker's probably going to that main title picture because, honestly, when you go up there and you give them the Steiner math and the crowd is loving it, yeah, he's over. That man is ready for that main title picture. And, honestly, if he's up next to go up against Jey Uso, I can see that. Because you kind of already got that story going for it. So, we'll see what happens.
You slipped that in there. I like that. There is a little bit of something there, so that's smart.
Yeah, so we got something for that. So yeah, I'm going for Dirty Dom on this.
I'm with you on this one, E. I got Dirty Dom on this one. I'm excited for this match because of the story that they've kind of been hinting at within the whole Judgment Day. I hate this for Finn. because Finn that's my boy, that's my dog. And he's going to be disappointed on another WrestleMania, but I do think you have a better story here with Dirty Dom winning the Intercontinental Championship, and what will make it even better, what will be the Mancino cherry on top, is if Liv Morgan plays some type of role in this, because they've been hinting with the looks that she's been giving Finn in their backstage promos every time they have discussions about title matches or matches period and who's the leader and all that kind of. It's always Dirty Dom and Liv that seem to be hinting at some type of betrayal, and I would like to see Liv Morgan play some type of role in this match just to make it that much better. But I'm also excited because it also is getting ready to let Finn break free and become the Finn Balor of old and be what he needs to be and be in that main title picture again.
I'm gonna keep it rolling here with what you guys are saying. I know we're running low on time, y'all. So I'm going with Dirty Dom. Dom is his time, and I think he pins Finn for it. I agree with. I think Liv kind of gets in there. I don't think they want Braun to get pinned. I don't think they want Penta to get pinned. And unfortunately, I think Finn's going to be the one that takes this. But it also is going to set up Finn versus Dominic probably for the next month or so, especially at Backlash. One way or the other. So I think Dom gets his shine tonight, and I'm here for it.
Yeah, definitely. So let's go ahead and keep it rolling because so one of the main parts, honestly, I'm gonna tell y'all right now, EO's getting this dub. I think EO's already looked so strong. Yeah. We can go ahead and move to the next one. I mean, I'd be shocked if it was Bianca, but we're going for EO because I think they've already pointed so much to her.
Yeah, I'm going with EO.
I think, and of course, the last one, I've already talked about this. I'm telling you, it's going to be the Authority. They're coming back. We're going to see John Cena join the final boss with Seth Paul. I'm calling it. That's my thoughts on it. And I think Cody does lose the title tonight. That's my thoughts.
I think I think we may see Cody take a break after this. So if he loses, it wouldn't surprise me here. But my only concern about Cena winning the belt is he going to be there? And we know he's a part-timer. But if that's my one thing I don't like about part-time champions. The belt just doesn't show up on Raw or SmackDown when you need it to show up. It's a every couple weeks thing. And now, your Intercontinental champion or your U.S. champion is the person that's running that brand for the most part, or you have to rely on somebody else. But God, I guess I'm going with John Cena tonight. I'm going with John Cena tonight.
Yeah, Cena's going to get it, man. He's going to get the elusive 17. And one day he will be able to shake the hand of the person that wins 18, as he said. And so it's going to happen tonight. I just got that feeling. And, I'm more interested to see how everyone reacts to this. Will they be excited about this or not? And, it's got a lot to it because I know a lot of people really love the fact that Ric Flair and Cena are tied at 16, and it's a lot there to that. But yeah, I got Cena.
Man, I will say this: I think if Cena wins, people are gonna be pissed. I think no matter way the end of this show is, somebody's gonna be really
gonna be upset.
Yeah, I think we're gonna be like, "What just happened?" That's what we need tonight.
Yeah.
That's
what WrestleMania should be. What just happened?
Why do I gotta watch Raw right now?
Yep.
Why the Raw right now?
They gave us that last night on night one with that last match of what just happened. Now give it to us again.
Give me what I want.
Give me what I want. Give me what I want. You know what I want. Hey, shout out Batista.
Shout out to Batista, man. But we talked about the greatness of what happened on night one. Mainly the greatest part of night one, which was the main event with the OTC, Seth Rollins, the Visionary, and the best in the world, CM Punk. But of course, now we do have night 2 to look forward to. We gave y'all our predictions. We told y'all what we think. And honestly, don't be surprised when you see some of the stuff happen, because like always, we called it.
Every time.
So, as always, make sure y'all follow all of our social medias. Facebook, we on that. Instagram, we on that. X, we on that. TikTok, we on that. Okay,
we on our road to 100, fellas. We on the road to 100 on YouTube.
We on come on
now. Get there. 17 to go.
We almost there.
Let's keep it going. Look, because I'm telling you, we're going to keep giving you content. We're going to keep giving y'all knowledge the exclusive way, like we always do it, baby. Because, you know it. We're Xclusive Knights, and we strive to give you everything that you need, then be the best there is, the best there was,
the best there
and the
was,
best it ever will
and
be.
the best there ever will be.
Because we are the Xclusive Knights, and we ensure, and we always try to make sure that your nights will never
never
be
the
the
same. Holla!